I was literally saying to my friend a couple of days ago that I've had such a good month, but I'm going to remain humble. I'm going to stay humble because you never know what can happen. I could be wrong. And I like when we debate in the comment section so you can tell me where I went wrong. For those of you that follow me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram, you watch my Instagram stories, you would know I've had a guest. In him staying with me, I gave up my bed so that he can sleep in my room. I sleep on the sofa bed. Now, I will do that with any of my friends, not only on this particular occasion. I live in an open plan kitchen living room. I personally feel like if you're here visiting me and you're sleeping and I'm snacking or I'm up late and I want to go in the kitchen or anything like that, I want to be disturbing you. Like I think it all through. I'm up until hours o'clock in the morning. I'm watching movies, I'm rummaging through my fridge, I'll make a late night snack. Like I do all those things. So I made that decision myself to sleep in the living room. I gave up the drawers in my bedroom so that he had a place to put his belongings and he knew where to find his stuff. I changed my whole routine to accommodate him and make him feel as comfortable as possible. When anybody stays in my home, I want them to feel comfortable. I do not want them to feel like a guest. I don't want them to feel like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, or no, that's not the case. However, this particular agreement was you are staying here as it was convenient for work. This wasn't a getaway weekend. This was nothing of that sort. This was for a valid reason. I've not had any issues. I don't touch his belongings, he don't touch mine. If he leaves something somewhere, he will go back and find it there. That is how I like to live. Even if I was to go into somebody else's space, I'm not touching any of their belongings, I'm not moving any of their belongings. However he leaves my bedroom, that's how he comes back to it. I don't touch none of his stuff. There are people in some areas, they'll leave their door open. Your neighbor can come in and drop off a parcel for you. You can do that with your people. You can do that. Some people can do that in their neighborhood. I've been living alone for a year and I'm very limited on the people that I bring into my space in general. But when I do invite somebody in my space, I want them to feel as comfortable as possible. However, none of my guests that have stayed here for a week or over a week have ever asked me for a key. Never. And in my head, I just didn't feel like you needed a key because I'm at home. I've had friends stay here and they've gone out and come back in the morning, but they still communicate with me because ultimately this is where their belongings are. This is where they have to come back to. They communicate with me throughout the night, in the morning, while they were on their way home. And I just feel like that's what should have been done. The simple respect is what I should have got. A conversation has come up about a key. He's asked me if I had any spare keys. I said, no. During the conversation, he says, oh, so that you don't stress about me and what time I'm coming home, wouldn't it be better for you to give me a key? Now, I'm always at home. I work from home. Everything I do is online. There's no reason for me to leave my yard unless I'm creating content. And in the times when I'm not at home, he is not here. In the times when I've gone away to do content creating, he is not in the house. You've asked me for a key. Do I have any spare keys? I said no. Why not? I said, I'm not cutting keys. I'm not a person that's going to be cutting keys for guests and doing all that. I have a spare key and that spare key is where it's at. On 3 occasions, he had to wait for me. One occasion, he had to wait half an hour for me because I fell asleep. I was literally in my bedroom. I fell asleep. My phone was on silent. I wasn't gallivanting the streets. I never made any abrupt, erratic plans and forgot about him. I fell asleep. On the 2 other occasions, I went to get my hair done and it went over time and the journey back home was really long. And the second time I was at the barber's and we both was on our way home at the same time. He just so happened to get home before me and had to wait no more than 5-10 minutes while I was walking up the road to come into the yard. On those 3 occasions out of the 3 weeks that you've been here, you've never had to worry about entering this house because I've been at home. But gradually, as the time has gone on, the comfortability has reached a maximum. On 2 occasions, I had to reach out to you to find out what time you was coming home. I text you and I said, whereabouts? It's 7, 8 o'clock. I text you and I said, whereabouts are you? You responded with, oh, are you worried about me? It's nice to see you're checking up on me. I'm not checking up on you. I need to know where you are to find out when I should open the door. Because I don't see... I'm just one of those people, like, on a weekday, I'm not really the type of person to be coming in at late hours in general. Like, that's just not me. For you to go to work and then after work you decide to go to your friend's house and stay at your friend's house until midnight with no communication at all doesn't make sense to me. Then he was going back and forth with me, justifying why he has spare keys. I didn't say I don't have any spare keys. I meant I don't have a spare key for you. He goes on to explain to me where he used to live. A neighbor had a key. This friend had a key. He gave a key to this person so that they could come and go and as they please. That's not the circumstance here. And we have 2 different styles of living. So you should understand that. But in this whole conversation, he made me feel like everything I was saying was invalid. I wasn't entitled to the way I felt in my own home. And he was being mad disrespectful. Doing that while I'm talking, whatever, and be quiet, and the conversation is done. And I'm not even deep in what is going on. The conversation ended there. This conversation started because he asked me about the key. I have never, ever, in the time that he's been staying here, I have never brought up giving him a key or him eventually getting a key. That has never been the case. Now, on one occasion, I gave him my key overnight. Him having the key was because I had left out to go and film content and I wouldn't be home to let him back in. So I gave him the key. I was out overnight and the next day he was to give me my key, which he did. During the 24 hours of him having my key, I had called him and was like, make sure you got my key, you know, like not in a jokey way, but maybe he interpreted it as a joke. And anybody would be like that. You can't tell me that you would just give somebody your key and you're just going to be like, okay, yeah, cool. You're not. It's like giving somebody your car to borrow. You're going to double check if your car's all right. You're going to double check if your friend still got your key. You're going to do it. It could be your bestie. It could be anyone. You're still going to double check because it's yours. It's your possessions. But I said it multiple times. I said, make sure you have my key, you know. Do you have my key? Where's my key? Like, I've done it multiple times. I don't see how you can't see my worry or anything like that. But I gave you my key for the simple fact that I was not going to be home. In the 3 weeks that we have been here, if I leave out, he is also leaving out with me. He has never stayed here for 4 days while I am not here. It's never happened. The conversation ended there, and for the rest of the evening, he did not speak to me. He did not bat an eyelid at me. The next morning, he's shuffling around, getting ready for work, using the bathroom, in the kitchen, walking up and down. Cool. I've woken up. As I heard him leave, I heard the door lock. And I'm confused. I'm thinking, how can the door lock when I didn't give you a key? I got up. I went to turn the knob to see if the door was actually locked. The door was indeed locked. So my door is not one of them doors that when it closes, it locks. It's one of those doors, when it closes, you have to turn the knob to lock the latch, or from the outside, you lock it with the key. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, you know. I'm sitting here fretting. I'm thinking, I'm sitting there thinking, how did he get a key? Like what? Like, I'm confused. My guy's not spoken to me, nothing. But somehow he's magically found a key and used it to lock my door. Now, I wanted to ask my followers, I genuinely wanted to ask my followers for a second opinion, because I knew if I asked my mum would say, no, your friend doesn't have to have a key. Like, during our conversation the night before, I had said to him, shall I ask my followers if you are entitled to a key? Because I must be going crazy. And he made a remark like, I don't live for the internet. I'm living in reality. And I'm like, now that I'm repeating this stuff, I'm thinking to myself, who the hell are you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? And I don't like people that try and shame people that are on social media or make remarks like that, because it's weird. It is weird. Yes, some people are more private than others, but I wanted to ask my followers, why not? Why not? Why not? He's come back to the house now and he's knocked on the door. But I'm thinking to myself, you had a key, so how are you knocking on the door? You had a key, so how are you knocking on the door? You think you're sly, you think you're sneaky, you took the key, you locked up. How are you coming back and knocking on the door? You then come in, hi, how are you? How was your day? I had been texting him and I said how I felt, and I said, ultimately, for my own peace of mind, you need to leave. I said, I feel disrespected in my own home, and that can't run. It can't work for me. And I would never want to put somebody out or put somebody in a circumstance where I am to blame, but my invite into my home was a better choice than the other options you had. But there was other options initially. The whole afternoon after our conversation, you didn't come and talk to me, none at all. But the next day you want to come and chat to me and act like we're all hunky-dory. That don't make sense. We're having a conversation about our conversation yesterday, and I explained it again, and I said, you are not entitled to a key. That shouldn't make you uncomfortable in any way, shape or form. I'm just not giving you a key because this circumstance is not a case where you can come and go as you please. No, you are here as a convenient place to stay for work. That is it, ultimately. And ultimately, you are a guest. What I say goes. During our conversation, when we're going over the conversation from the night before, I'm telling him I feel disrespected in my home, and you've come back here, lardy-darring and hoo-rahing, patting me on my leg, and I feel like you're patronizing me, and you're now being nice because I've said you need to go. He then had the cheek to say he is the victim in this situation because his shelter is at risk. Now, in the conversation, I had explained to him that you put your hand up at me and you were being disrespectful, dismissing what I was saying. He then responded by saying, so do you think it's right for you to shout at me? Like, do you think that's right? I said, I didn't raise my tone until your tone started to raise. The way you entered the conversation, do you not have a spare key? Was why my tone rose too. Because who are you talking to? And then who are you going back and forth with? When I made the decision, I said, I don't have a spare key for you. I'm not giving you a key. I don't need to explain why. Giving you a key does not help me. It helps you. It allows you to be able to roam free and do whatever you want. And that's not the case here, I'm afraid. Towards the end of the conversation, I said, did you take a key this morning? I said, did you take a key this morning? He then smirks and goes, yeah. I said, where did you get a key from? If I did not say, here is a key, use this, why are you picking up things that do not belong to you? And the fact that you knocked on the door for me to open the door, good and well knowing you have a key in your bag of mine. That's sly to me. That's sly behavior. I felt uncomfortable during the day, and when he came in and was doing the most, I felt even more uncomfortable. And I just said, I'm so sorry, but for my own sanity, you need to go. You need to go. No ifs, no buts, no, let me figure this out. No, you need to leave. I said, if I am going to be the villain today, that is fine. The comfortability level has reached a maximum, and I feel, and the respect has left the building. Now, don't get me wrong. While we've been here, we've been kiki and I'm busting, joking, throwing shade. And yes, that is in that circumstance. That is on a mutual basis. However, when you're sitting here talking outside of your mouth about my choices and how I choose to live, you're out of order. You're out of order. And then to take a key and then try and justify you took the key and not just say sorry, even after I told you there's no spare key for you and I'm not giving you a key. Even after that fact, you still took a key, something that belongs to me. You're out of order. You're out of order. Alta. And I said to myself, something's gonna happen, you know? Something's gonna like humble my blood clot self. Cause I don't know where I got happen. I don't know where I got happen. I don't know where I got happen. I don't know. Listen, I'll be so real. His time here has been great. However, that drew the line for me. I feel like the level of leeway that I gave him from the beginning outweighs me not giving you a key. Any decision I make, if I say no, no means no. I will not be coerced into nothing. I will not be swayed into thinking any way else. I'm grown. I know why I make certain decisions. I know why I say certain things. I know why I do what I do. And everybody should be the same. There are people on my floor that have recognized me from Backchat. There are people on my floor that watch me on YouTube. I didn't know that. When I moved into this building, I wasn't expecting that. That's out of my control. But for my own sanity and my own safety, I need to know my front door is locked. I need to know who's coming in and out of my yard. I need to know if you're a guest in my home, I need to know what time you're coming home. I need to know these things. That's the simplest thing I ask for. I need advice. And I don't want to hear it from somebody that is going to be biased and tell me what I want to hear. I need it from people that are going to be real with me. And I feel like my subscribers are always going to be real. Like, look at all my other videos. You lot will comment and tell me about myself when I'm ready. So do the same here. Yesterday, I doubted myself. I doubted my existence. I said to myself, what is my purpose? What is my purpose in this life? What have you set out for me to do, God? What have you set out for me to do? Because I sometimes genuinely do not know. I genuinely don't know, sir.